Let's take a moment to just be still. You can turn the palms forward. Feel free to close the eyes if you would like to. And just feel into the toes on your mat. Feel into space between each of your fingers. And feel into this beautiful breath that might be coming up for you. This healthy beat of the heart. And just feeling this sense of gratitude for your ability to move and breathe in the way that you are this morning. Okay, good. From here, we're going to take the left foot to the top of the mat, but it's going to be quite a small step. So let's draw the palms into prayer, okay? I like to have my right foot kind of more center as my left foot comes forward. Now, the heels don't have to be completely lined up. You can send the front foot a little bit over towards the left side of the mat if you wish. So we can work on a bit more of hip alignment, whereas if the heels are quite lined up, it's quite hard to draw the back hip forward. It can be a lot of strain on the back knee. So open up the feet a little bit so the back hip can draw forward towards the top of the mat, and then we're going to tuck the elbows behind the back of the body. From here, remember you can put a little bend in your front knee whenever you need to. Round your spine, curl your chin into your chest, and go really slow, like you're chasing your belly button with your forehead. Now, as you round into this position, scoop your pubic bone forward. Remember, you can bend the knee whenever you need to, but the bend in the knee should not mean that your spine goes flat. Keep your eyes on your belly. Keep rounding, rounding, rounding until you reach a point where your forehead is as close to your left knee as possible or touching. Chin into the chest. Round your spine, pausing here. From this point, keep your chin to your chest and your eyes on the belly. Allow your hands to release so that the fingers hover just around your foot or your toes. Keep your chin to your chest, rounding your spine. We're aiming to push the front foot down to encourage the back body to round. Now you can place your fingertips either to frame your front foot or in front of your toes, and then use the push of the hands to get your chin more into your chest. Looking into your belly, readjust your hips to bring your body weight a bit more forward on your front foot so that your back hip comes down and forward and your front hip pulls up and back. It's like you're trying to squeeze something between your inner thighs. We're going to slowly reverse this. So bring the hands and the elbows to the back again. Feel that strong stability through your feet. Uncurl one vertebrae at a time. The front foot is pushing down. Just slowly uncurl the body. Lifting the chin, and at the end, open the arms, lift the chest. Good. And then from here, drawing the palms together, lean forward, step to the back of the mat, and we'll come into the other side. So left foot can come into the center, right foot steps forward to the top of the mat. So we're prepping the spine for a little bit of floor work that we're going to be doing. So front foot should be more or less straight. Back toes can be angled out to the side. But again, walk your front foot slightly to the right so your back left hip can come forward to the top of the mat. That's it. Wrap the elbows behind the back. Pull your chin to your chest. So notice, does your tail want to go back right away? This is where it's good to put a little bend in the front knee. Scoop your pubic bone up, round your spine, and chase your belly button with your forehead. Round and curl in. Keep the outer edge of your left foot anchored down into your mat, and keep rounding. The front knee can bend as much as you need it to, but ideally we're looking for the forehead to chase the knee, rather than the knee trying to chase the forehead. Chin to chest. Keep drawing a little bit of a closer gap between your inner thighs, just energetically. Look up into your belly, trying to touch the forehead to the knee or as close as you can get. We're not going for length with the belly long. We're going for shortening with the belly short. Release the hands and hover those hands just above the foot. Now, if you find that you cannot straighten your elbows without your fingers connecting to the ground, then you want to push through your front foot down a little bit more to lift away from that. Then you can allow your hands to frame your front foot, push down fingers round the spine, chase your belly button more, or the hands can reach long in front of your front foot toes. Pausing here, weight shifts forward, back hip forward, front hip up. Okay, let's slowly reverse it. Stay with me. Push down through the front foot, elbows wrap onto the back, slowly uncurl for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. When you're ready, release the arms, open chest. Lifting the chin. Okay, palms in prayer. Leaning forward, step to the back of the mat. Nice work, you guys. Let's again let the arms release. Close the eyes. Just feel into what's coming up for you. Feel the feet solid down into the mat. The lift away from that, but a gradual softening through the body as well. And while you're here with the eyes closed, I want you to make sure that you can make saliva in the mouth and you can swallow that. So this is part of our autonomic nervous system, and when we can access that during our practice, this helps to put us into the parasympathetic arousal, rest and digest, healing state, rather than the sympathetic fight or flight. One more thing that we can do for that is to relax the pelvic floor. See if you can relax and soften it from where you're standing right now. Good. Okay, let's open up the eyes. Hands, palms drawn to a prayer position. We're just going to take one balance before we move to the ground. So from here, shift the weight over into your right leg and kick forward through the left heel. When we lift the leg up, we're going to push the palms out to the sides. Okay, so this is the path with the arms from here, and then they'll push here. So we'll start palms in prayer. As the leg lifts, push the palms, and I want you to bow. Bow so that your forehead comes as close to your knee as possible. And then inhale, come up again, lower the heel, palms in prayer. We're going to try that one more time. Exhale, lift the leg and bow. Chin to chest. So you might be looking down at the mat or maybe at your right toe. If you're looking at your right toe, try to look at your right knee. If you're looking at your right knee, try to look at your right thigh. And if you're looking at the thigh, try to look into your belly. Inhale, let's come up. That's it, good. And feet come together. We'll try on the other side. Shift the weight, body weight in the left leg, kick forward through the right heel. Again, the path with the arms is that they push down and out. Let's give it a go. Bow, push down and out. That's it. Inhale, coming up. Don't worry if the knee or the leg is nowhere near the forehead. Exhale. It's not the closeness that gives us the benefit. It's the action. Pausing for a little longer in this one. Looking at the toe, look at the thigh. Looking at the thigh, look at the belly, and slowly come out. Good. Okay. And the feet come to the back of the mat. Let's slowly round and curl. All the way down. Letting the knees bend. Let's walk forward to a tabletop position and come into a child's pose of your choice. Allowing the body to sink down and rest. Pausing just to notice. Perhaps when you're here, you prefer a bit of movement. Or in your child's pose, you might prefer to just really drop and sink down. Just stay here for about another 30 seconds or so. Okay, and just taking your time to walk yourself out of your child's pose, lifting the body all the way up. We're going to bring the knees together and the feet together. So knees and heels close. And from here, we want to draw the arms behind the body. So hands, palms will face in towards one another, and we're going to squeeze and then soften. And again, squeeze and soften. So notice in the squeeze, you can see from the back, I'm not bending my elbows, I'm keeping them straight, and I'm putting the squeeze through my shoulder blades. And relax, try that 2 more times. Palms face towards one another, squeeze, and relax. And last time, squeeze. Now I want you to see how close you can get the palms together without bending the elbows. And what this is showing us is that when we do bend the elbows and straighten the arms, that there's a big gap as to where our strength can take us within our flexibility. So now that we've held this for a bit, now if you want to bend the elbows to interlace the fingers and reach that fist back, you can. And we'll take a few movements through this way. If kneeling is not feeling so good for you, you can do this up on the knees, that's totally fine. Or you can release the legs in front of you and sit in a comfortable cross-legged position, okay? So we're gonna lift the chin as if you're gonna tap your fist down to the mat behind you. You might feel it tap, it doesn't have to. And then chin stays long, lower, and then the forehead comes down. Now you're gonna uncurl up again. So chin to chest. Inhale, maybe the fist taps down, lift the chin, exhale, coming forward. Let the head drop, pulling back. Fist drops down, inhale, lift the chin. Now here, when the forehead drops down, we'll pause. Now you might find that it's quite challenging to have the arms up. You can also grab the elbows, that's fine. This is significantly less lengthening that's occurring. You can also choose to just keep the elbows straight and squeeze the hands, palms towards one another, exactly like we did before we clasped the hands. Up to you. One more breath cycle. That's it. And let's uncurl, coming all the way up. Lift the chin and release the clasp of the arms. Okay. So on your mat, we're going to take the legs long and forward in front of you. So shifting to one side, letting them come forward. We'll give them a little bit of a bouncing energy here. You can roll or rock the legs from side to side. Sometimes it's nice to also windshield wiper the knees by bending the knees and having the feet flat. We'll just take about 30 seconds here of whatever you want to do. You might find you just want to kind of curl in and just cocoon. That's fine too. Okay. So we are going to be coming down onto the back and eventually taking the legs up and over. So if you have anything that's kind of behind you, you're probably going to want to shift a little bit more towards the top end of the mat. Obviously move yourself around so that you feel like you're in a spot where you have enough room to eventually take the legs behind you, and you're just going to start to lay down onto the back. So you can reach the arms forward, tuck the chin to the chest, and go slow all the way down, all the way down here. And then letting the body relax. We'll keep the knees bent. Bring the soles of the feet towards the outer edges of the mat. Let the knees lean in towards one another. And here we're going to turn the hands, palms down. Hands, palms will turn down. So we're just going to take some little isolating neck movements. So from here, I want you to pull your chin to your chest and lift your head off the mat, and then lower down. Now, if for whatever reason this feels problematic for your neck, do less, okay? You can just simply lengthen the back of the neck so that it magnetizes towards the mat rather than lifting the head off the mat. It's your choice. So go ahead, lifting up or magnetizing the back of the neck to the mat and lowering all the way down. We'll do 2 more like that. Chin dips down and lifting, curling in. That's it. Lower down. Let the head relax. 1 more. Chin dips down, curling in. Pause there. And lowering down. Let the head go neutral. So when we come into our plow, then there is a lot of pressure on the neck in this position, except for the legs are up or over. So we're just trying to prep the neck for some of this stuff. Let's open up the knees so that they're no longer touching one another. Bring the feet into about a hip width distance. Turn the hands, palms down. Let's go nice and slow, about 10 counts, to gradually peel 1 vertebrae off the floor at a time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So you might have liked to come up really high. You might just be still finding where the body is, permitting you to go this morning. From this position, start to see if you can take the same movement that we just did. So we'll lengthen the back of the neck to the ground, and then we'll lift, head off the mat. Hold, chin to chest. Hold, slowly lower down. Doesn't have to be a great deal of lift. It can just be subtle. Again, chin to chest, and slowly curling, lifting the head, hold, looking in towards your belly, hold, lower, all the way down. 2 more like this, chin to chest, just lifting the head. Again, if the lift of the head is not feeling good, then just go ahead, lower down. Just magnetize the back of the neck to the mat. That's fine. 1 more lift. Good, and lower all the way down. Now we're going to stay up here with the hips. We're going to rock the weight from one side to the other and tuck the shoulder underneath. And again, tuck the shoulder underneath. Now this is where we get a lot of length in the back of the neck. So your fingertips might be feeling your heels. Some of you might have already interlocked your fingers in order to create a fist. Up to you. You might choose to just face your hands, palms in towards one another, but not actually clasp the palms together. The clasping of the palms is exactly the same as we explored when we were in a kneeling position. Often we have to bend the elbows to clasp the palms, so it's a force. It's more risky. So up to you what you'd like to do. We're here for another 5 counts. Relax into the jaw. If the neck does not feel so good, then look up to the ceiling a little bit more. Okay. We're going to rock the weight from one shoulder to the other to let it go. And then from here, we're going to slowly uncurl for 10. 1 vertebrae, 9. At a time, 8. Take your time, 7. 6, no rush. 5, 4, keep going. The flesh of the bum should be the very last thing to connect to the mat. Let that release. Feel free to bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees open up for a couple breaths here. Okay, maybe using the hands to draw the legs out. So we're gonna send the legs out long onto the mat. And we're gonna bring the arms over the head and grab the elbows. Grab your elbows over your head. And just feel your legs nice and strong. We're just gonna take one leg, it doesn't matter which one, and just hover that leg off the mat, just a couple of inches, not super high. So feel how the anchoring of the arms can create a reach so that you feel the leg is a bit more supported. And then we'll lower that leg down. Inhale, bring the opposite leg up. Now, notice if your spine really arches and there's a big gap underneath your low back. This just tells you that we've kind of stopped using the trunk of the body. So you want to feel the pubic bone poke up towards the ceiling a little bit more. In other words, your lower back comes slightly closer to the mat, and then we'll lower down. Now from here, you can lift both legs up. For me personally, this is really challenging for me to do with my arms over my head. So I'm gonna take my arms down, hands palms flat, and slide my thumbs underneath my buttocks. Up to you if that's what you wanna do. Squeeze both legs, lift the legs. So I've had separation in my abdomen from pregnancy. So this position is much better for me than the other way. So it's completely up to you. Even if you haven't had anything like that, this position can still feel better than arms overhead. Breathe, and then relax the legs. Okay, good. Let's bring the arms over the head again. Now, you guys, if you have anything behind you, slide yourself a little bit more towards the feet end of your mat so that you have room, okay? Arms over the head. Now, the point of this exercise, I think most of you guys have done this with me before, is to not use your arms on your low back. So if you prefer, you can start with the knees bent, that's fine, okay? Otherwise, you can have the legs straight. Otherwise, no matter which you're gonna do, we're gonna lift the legs up, and we're gonna try and not use momentum to bring the legs over, lifting the tail and one vertebrae of the spine at a time for the feet to maybe connect to the ground behind you. And then you're gonna slowly lower. Now, for some of you, the legs might not have made it past this point. You might have really tried to squeeze up, but they just didn't make it. That's fine. That's the point that you stay at, okay? Go again. Inhale. If the knees are starting bent, that's fine. Legs can lift. Try not to use momentum. Go slow to peel the tail off the mat first. Don't let the arms release from this position. If you're used to using your hands to pushing yourself, then again, this is just giving you information, and you can curl down. This is giving you information about where the gaps are in your strength in comparison to your flexibility. Go again, up and over. So if you're stopping here and that's kind of as far as you can get, I know in your mind you're going, if I just put my hands on my lower back, I can shove myself up and over. Don't worry, we'll get to the shoving, but for now, don't shove. Just try to use the abdominal strength to bring the legs up and over as much as you possibly can. This is going to be a good core exercise, but when we use the core to bring the legs up and over, we properly prepare the neck. We're going to take one last one. Legs coming up and over. Now this last one, you guys can use your hands if you want to. So say if you were kind of stuck at this halfway point, okay, be very mindful of your neck. You can use momentum instead of going slow. That's one option if you want to keep the arms over the head. You can also choose to go as far as you can, and then you release the arms, hands, palms on the buttocks, and you use that to give you a little bit of push. But if it's too much push and the body's not ready, this can be problematic for your neck. So you really want to be mindful that you're not creating a problem or a risk of injury in the body. So if there is some other variation that you're wanting to take, the option is there. But really have the emphasis be on what this posture is trying to achieve. This can be a very calming posture on the nervous system because we are allowing the heart to come above the head. However, it can be very demanding on the upper back and the neck. So be mindful that you're not coming into pushing the body so much to the point that you are risking and losing out on the therapy or risking injury. You might just stay in this position. Perhaps the hands are on the lower back. We'll be here for about another 5 breaths. So whatever you're looking to gain or achieve, remember that in a position like this, we're looking for the hips to gradually make their way over the shoulders. So there's a vertical stack. So if you've gone and brought your legs up high in the air, but your hips are way, way back, then you might just sort of peel back a few layers of depth. Now we're going to slowly come out of this the exact same way that we went into it. So from wherever you are, bring your arms over your head and slowly curl down. Now you might have needed to bend the knees, or perhaps you've already come out by now. That's fine. Take your time to slowly go one vertebrae at a time. And allowing the legs, maybe by this point you feel like you just need to bend the knees, no problem. Allowing the legs to go long. We are going to finish with a half fish pose to let the body open through the front. So let the arms release down. Turn your hands, palms down, and just prop yourself up onto your elbows. Okay? You can have the hands slide a little bit more under the buttocks if you prefer, because we're looking for the buttocks to not stay tucked underneath, but we're looking to create a lift, which means the flesh of the bum, you might even grab it and pull it slightly. And then you can sort of hug that L shape right into the flesh of the bum. Push the elbow points down, lift the chest. You can lift the chin, you can look up, you can look forward, or you can look back. Your choice. You can let the head go completely if the neck is feeling good with that. Elbows pushing down, chest lifting up. Good. And then from there, draw the chin to the chest and slowly release and just lay down on your back again. Letting the body relax. And just feeling into any changes, any sensations that are coming up for you as a result of what we've just done. Allow the shoulders to relax and soften. Allow the legs to relax and soften. Just staying here for a few more breaths. Feel free to let the eyes close down if you'd like to. And we are going to finish with a little meditation. If you want to do this lying on your back, you're more than welcome to. If you would like to sit up or even find a wall, then that works too. So it's completely your choice. Just take your time, trying not to disrupt or disturb any feelings of relaxation that you've achieved in the body. Finding a position that works for you. You could be laying on your side if you don't want to lay on your back, or cross-legged, kneeling, whatever is feeling good. Allow the hands to find a comfortable position, and we'll let the eyes close down. It's recommended that we take 5 minutes of savasana or meditation for every hour that we spend in our physical practice, which is our postures and our breathing exercises. So we're just going to spend the last bit of time here coming into a little journaling for ourselves. I want you to start to bring to the forefront of your mind how you are currently feeling. It could be right in this present moment, or it could be in general. Just generally speaking, at this time in your life, you might focus on how you're feeling, or it might be right now in this moment. And it might be a little bit of a mix. But see what resonates with you the most. Typically, the first thing that comes up is going to be one of the most authentic things. And just allow that to sit with you. And when you're feeling this way, what does that look like for you in your life? How does that influence you and the people around you? Is it bringing up anything that's unsettling? Is it bringing up anything that is maybe making you feel uncertain, or I guess any feelings that are maybe slightly uncomfortable? Just being okay with that. You might be feeling something beautiful, wonderful, lovely right now. And that's okay too. And we're going to shift our focus now to something that you're currently grateful for. It could be a person. It could be something in your environment. There are no boundaries to what you're feeling grateful for. It could be anything. It could be something that you've been really challenged by lately. And perhaps you're trying to turn a corner and notice appreciation and gratitude around this thing that challenges you. How does that feel to be grateful for this thing? How does it feel to acknowledge and appreciate this thing. And finally, we're going to come into the direction that you're wanting to move towards, or that you are moving towards. What are you wanting to cultivate? And you can even have a phrase in your mind. I am cultivating, and then you fill in the blank. I am moving towards, and you fill in the blank. And you can even shift that if you repeat that a few times. You can shift that to I am, as if it's in the present moment. And just sitting with that. How does that feel to wear that, to be that, to have that affirmation? Wherever you're at, whether you're lying down or sitting up, just start to allow a bit of movement through the fingers and or the toes. Perhaps you reach for a bit of a deeper breath in. If you're lying down, you might gradually stretch the arms over the head. If you're sitting up, you might let the head move from one side over to the other. Maybe the torso and the chest begins to move. And if you are lying down, you're more than welcome to join us in a seated position. The choice is yours. And just taking your time to get there, we will draw the palms into prayer, just allowing the chin to bow down. This is an acknowledgement of your participation in the practice, your willingness to show up, and just an acknowledgement of how your practice transcends this time that we have together. It's not for us to just benefit from this 75 minutes or this hour of time. It permeates into all other facets of our lives. And it really is a practice for life, not just a practice for one thing. It can contribute to one thing if that's your main focus. But the natural tendency of our practice is to influence all areas of our lives. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing. When you're ready, you can allow the eyes to open, maybe just blinking a few times. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your practice and just really felt into what is right for you, and just trying to take a step back if that's what you need to do in your life right now, and recognizing some of those states of mind that you're in, or how you're feeling, what you want to move towards. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. And I will see you soon. Thank you so much.